Hello and welcome to the mill. I am your host Dusty Crane, and this week we are going to be playing a solo game of Libertalia Winds of Galecrest. Let's go ahead and get to it. I've already set up the game. You can see this is going to simulate a 3-player game. We don't have the midshipman tile on the board. I've already set this up, but just to give you an idea of how the solo game is set up, basically you can see this is the Automa side here. This is my side. I am playing on, I believe it's Landlubber. It's the second level of difficulty, and I'm a Scallywag, sorry. The second level is Scallywag. I'm going to start with 10 doubloons. The Automa starts with nothing. The color reputation tokens that are not in play, these will be here and here, but we're going to set it up like a 2-player game. So how I decided this one right here is me, this one right here is the Automa. How I decided that was I just shook them up in my hand and let one drop, and the one that dropped out is who got placed in the highest reputation. So the Automa won the highest reputation, and right here, these tiles, I put these out. You can see we have the ones that have the Automa indicators here. Now, yes, some of these are exactly the same. However, some of them are not. And the reason why we use these tiles for the solo game is because it helps remind us of this loot priority list. So here we have, the top level is the good treasure. These three are the average level, and this one right here is bad. So we have good, average, bad, and so this order right here just helps us remember. And you can see right here on the player aid card, it's also there. Why is this important? Because that's how the Automa is going to determine what it wants. Now, if you look at day 1, I already randomly pulled these tiles from the bag. So because technically we're playing the Automa and the Pilferer and ourselves, we're going to set out 3, because the Pilferer is going to get stuff too, although it's just going to go right back into the bag. It doesn't actually collect any points or anything like that. However, the Automa will, and so it just helps, kind of remove tiles from the, or loot from the board. So you randomly draw 6 cards here. You place them in order from lowest to highest for the Automa. So I just did it over here for mine, and I'm going to draw the same cards to begin with. So we're going to leave this right here. I'm going to draw these up into my hand, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. I guess one more thing that I'll mention is the starting coins are actually under your reputation. So because the Automa was ahead of me, they have 9, and I am right here and have 10. Yep, all right, I got that right. So let's go ahead and begin, shall we? It always begins with me choosing the card that I want to play. Let's do a little bit of thinking here, and I'll go ahead and show the cards, here in just a second. I'll probably go fast, so if you want to see them, just go ahead and pause and take a look at the cards yourself. So there's really no point in hiding things since we're just playing ourselves. I'm just going to go ahead and put that right there on the island. Now, what we do is, from this stack right here, we're going to go ahead and play the top card. And we play it like this because it's the Pilferer. So the Pilferer got 12. And we put these in order on the island. So the Pilferer is at 12. Now what this does is, now this shows us this card right here. This is information we didn't have before, but this is how the Automa is going to play, what they're going to play out of their hand. So we decided what it's going to play based on these icons right here. Now when we look at the day 1, we have 2 average, which are these 3 right here, 2 average and 1 bad. So that basically means that, we don't have 3 of any one type. We don't have 2 bad. We don't have a good, which is what these are, and a bad. We don't have a good at all. So we're right down here. And what this is going to do is, this says that the Automa is going to play the second card that has a cannon indicator to the right. However, we only have 1 available. So this is the one that's going to get drawn. So the Automa is going to play this card right here. It's going to play the Brute, and that one is number 17. So this is actually going to hurt. Now we start the daytime phase. So the Pilferer has no daytime ability. They don't have any ability at all. We get to the Brute. Discard the rightmost character on the island, which may be the Brute. That character owner gains 1 reputation. So my person gets kicked off the island and goes to my, it says discard. So it doesn't even say that it goes to my ship. So that goes right there. And I gain a reputation. I just know I'm going to goof this because usually I play blue, but blue and purple look sort of similar. So I decided I'd do something with a little bit more contrast between the 3 to help for this video. So unlucky me, I'm not going to get any treasure. So we've gone this way and processed the daytime abilities. Now we're on to dusk. So this one has no dusk. This one has no dusk. But, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw the loot tiles. So this one, you know, I went ahead and put these in order too of the loot priority. So the very first one, the Brute is going to take this. And the Pilferer is going to take this, which just goes right back here into the bag. Which I'll do right there. And I guess as a bonus, I don't get this. So that goes into the bag. And now we are, you know, what they took. So I guess let's go ahead and process the barrels. They do have a ability. So the Pilferer doesn't get any of this, but however, the dusk ability for the barrel here means that the Automa gets their reputation back and slides me aside there. So that was not very productive for us, but that's okay. Now these go back. The Brute will go into, it's called the ship, you know, so it's sitting on the ship right here. I'll just go ahead and put it right there. We'll just know that there's a dividing line there here. So anything that way is on the ship. And they don't have a nighttime ability, so I'm just going to go ahead and cover those up until we encounter one that does. And actually none of them do for this one, so we're fine. So now the Pilferer, they just go right here into, you know, the graveyard. I guess I'll just leave it up like that. That's fine. All right, so now we are on to our second turn. So let's see the second day of our voyage here. Let's see if we can do a little bit better than we did the first one. I'm looking over my cards here, and I have the treasure. It says gain 1 coin for each barrel. This is an end of voyage ability. Gain 1 coin for each barrel, each amulet, and each chest. There's only a couple more barrels left. There are only 1 amulet and no chest, so I don't know. I could get my aristocrat back, which would possibly get me some end of voyage points. The armor, sabers, and hooks, that one would be a good one for day 4, so I'll hang on to that. Maybe the likelihood, this isn't going to be worth a whole lot of points, but we're going to play this anyway. The collector, if you have 2, 3, or 4, or 5 different types of loot tokens in your ship, gain 1, 3, 5, or 10 doubloons. And I just, before I know the order of everything, I just kind of put it like that just for ease. We're going to go ahead and draw this top card. This is going to be our Pilferer card, 22. That's going to go, we'll just set it here for now. We'll see what's going to happen. And now we're right back here again. So when we're looking over this card here, we have 2 good tokens and 1 average token. Now what that means is, you know, we don't have 3 of any one type. We don't have 2 bad. We do have we don't have any good we do have 1 good, but we don't have any bad. And this one right here, we do have good and no bad. So this is one we're going to go second. And so this says that we're going to go second from the right. And in that case, this is card 34. So they're playing the aristocrat, which means this is going to work out just like this. And let's see here. So we're going to go daytime phase. Nothing for the Pilferer. Automa gains 2 reputation. So they are sliding all the way up there. Mine, no daytime ability. We processed there. Now we're going through dust. So I get to choose my loot. I like these map tokens, but we have a lot of high level ones, and I don't really have many cards that can combat that. My option here is the hook will keep a character in my ship and gain 4. But if I can get 2 of these, that's worth 7. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to go ahead and take the map tile for my ship here. And now the aristocrat is going to take the hook because that's what they want to do. And if you heard that, that was Smokey disagreeing with me. And then the pilferer is going to take this token, and that goes into the bag. Now we are going to go ahead and process any dusk, which I guess I technically should have been doing just as I took it. I took the map tile, there's no dusk, and the aristocrat, the automa, took the hook token, which has no no dusk ability. So we're fine. Go ahead and take these off the island here. The collector goes here. Let's go my ship over here. Again, we'll pretend there's a line here. I'll just take these off the table altogether to make it a little less confusing. So this is my ship, this is the automa's hand, and this is their ship. We'll just do this. This will be the dividing line between our ships and our crew. That should be fine here. Now the aristocrat is going to come off the board. And again, there's no nighttime abilities that I have to remember to trigger, so I'm just going to go ahead and, stack them on top of each other. You do whatever you like best. The pilferer goes into the discard graveyard. And we are on to the 3rd day of our voyage. Looking over here again, the treasurer, I'll just go like this. If we could land the brute, I really need this map tile. And I know they've already used their brute, so maybe I'll just go with my highest card. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play my highest card, which is the treasure, and hope for the best. The pilfer 5, that's a good sign. I'm gonna assume that's the lowest. And now we're looking at day 3 of the voyage, and we have 1 good, 1 average, and 1 bad. So when we're looking over this right here, we don't have 3 of any one type, we don't have 2 bad, we don't have we do have a good and a bad. So that's what we're doing the middle, and it wants to do the cannon, but we have none of these cannon cards. So here's what happens. In a situation like this where there is no cannon card, what's going to happen is the automa is going to play the rightmost card from their hand. So the collector, unfortunately, does this, and I am not going to get that map token. So going this way, no daytime ability, no daytime ability, no daytime ability. Coming back, the collector is going to take the map from me. Oh, makes me mad. And I am going to, well, I don't want the bad token, so I'm just going to take the barrel. And then the pilferer is going to take the bad token, which again just goes into the bag. And we can, none of those things that we took, not the map, not the barrel. Actually, the barrel does have a dusk. I gotta remember to do that. Thankfully, I think I've been catching all of them. So that's gonna move me up there. And then the pilfer does nothing. So let's go ahead and put the people back on the ship. Again, just gonna stack that like that. And they're gonna go on my ship, and I'll just spread them out so you can see if you zoom in or don't want to pause, you'll see them later. Pilfer goes into the graveyard, and we are on to the last day of this first voyage. I get to play first. Okay, so I'm going to try the armor, and the reason I'm going to do that is because if you gain a saber or hook, and I have a very good chance of that, gain 2 reputation, which, you know, that could help. My last one, I should have played my brute. That would have helped, because I could have discarded the one ahead of me and, you know, got it. But it is what it is. So I'm going to play the armor. We'll see what happens there. Let's see what the pilferer is going to play. 40. Ooh, that was I think the governor card. Yeah. So 40. And now let's see. This last day, we have 1 good, 1 average, and 2 average, actually. So here's how this is going to work. We don't have 3 of any one type. We don't have 2 bad. We don't have a good and a bad. So this one right here, we do have at least 1 good. So we're going to play second from the right. So this is going to be played. And oof. Okay. So daytime ability, no. Surgeon, yes. The Automa gains 5 coins. That's going to hurt me scoring wise. Let's stack that right there. And then no ability for the pilferer. Now we're going to come back. Pilfer, again, they take in this order. That's why I ordered these in this order. So you can, you know, when you draw your tiles, if you want to put them in that order there, it's just going to make this easier, because they're going to take that first one and they're the pilferer. So into the bag. Maybe. And the surgeon is going to take the saber, which their dusk ability says discard the lowest ranked knight character from your opponent's ship, which I don't have any. If there are none to discard, gain 3 coins. There's that Automa gaining coins on us. And then onto mine. If you have a saber, and then I take this token right here, and it says, if you have a saber or hook token, gain 2 reputation. I don't, so that card was a wash. But that's all right. So now pilfer goes into discard. The surgeon is going to go into their ship. And my armor is going to go into mine. Now we're in the nighttime phase, and I do actually have a nighttime ability that gives me coins for every saber and hook on my ship. Yay. That is the end of the voyage. What we do at this point is we're going to go ahead and handle all of our abilities that have this anchor thing going on right here. So the end of voyage icon. So these ones the Automa didn't use, they're going to come back the next round. So I'm just going to set these on the board so I don't get confused for a minute. And let's go ahead and process the Automas. No nighttime. So that's going to go into the graveyard. This one, if the Automa has 2, 3, or 4 different types of loot tokens in their ship, they gain. So they actually have 4 different types of loot tokens. So they get 10 coins. Ugh. This is not looking good for me. And that is going to go into the graveyard. If the Automa is the only player to have an aristocrat on their ship, she gains 5, and I do because they killed mine. Or I don't because they killed mine. So they're going to get 5 more coins. Yowza. And then no nighttime ability. So that's their crew right there. Well, I guess I need to take care of this stuff too. So this doesn't do anything for them right now. The map, they only have 1, so that does nothing for them. The hook, keep a character in your ship or gain 4. The Automa just gains 4. So there's 4 doubloons for them. Making more money. And their barrel, gain 1 doubloon. Now we can process mine. So if you have 2, 3, or 4 different, I have 3 different tokens, so I'm going to gain 5 coins, which I desperately need. It's not going to be enough. Now I'm going to gain 1 for each barrel, each amulet, and each chest. So I have 1 barrel, 1 amulet, so that's 2 doubloons for me. And my armorer doesn't have an end of voyage ability at all. So let's go ahead and make sure this does nothing for me. The barrel, I'm going to gain 1 coin. And the amulet, I'm going to gain 3 coins. Doubloons. So we are done with these tokens at this point. These people go into my graveyard. My 2 that didn't get played are still in my hand. So I'll set these here now because I'm done processing that. And the same with this right here. So let's go ahead and at this point, we go ahead and just count up these tokens, adjust these dials because they represent, we went and stashed our hoard. This money that we've collected so far is safe now. We can't lose it. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust those dials and get the game set up for Voyage 2. What I've done so far is I went ahead and put our treasures that we had earned, our doubloons, into our chest. We stashed those away on our hidden pirate island, I guess, and gave us doubloons equal to where we were on the reputation track. I also repopulated the loot for each day of the voyage. As you can see, we have a lot of sabers and a lot of hooks, and we'll see if that ultimately is good or bad. Went ahead and drew 6 new cards for the Automa here, and I used that to populate my hand. So these are the 2 that I had left over, which are going to be different than the 2 that the Automa has left over because we play different cards, but we do add the same 6 new cards to our hand. So I got an infantry. It says if the infantry is rightmost on the island, gain 5. The watchman, switch a loot token with the current day with 1 from the next day if possible. The cook, unless you first gain a hook token, gain a second loot token from the current day. The explorer, if you gain a map token, gain 2 reputation. And the barkeep, gain 1 doubloon. And the apprentice, use a daytime ability of a character in your ship. So I'm going to go ahead and add these to my options here. So the brute's going to discard someone ahead of him. Return the character to your graveyard without revealing it. I do have some good options in my graveyard. In fact, I have one that does good with sabers and hooks. So I think that's the one that I'm going to play this surgeon because it's a high number. There's a chance that it could, let me take something I want here. And the only thing that I'm thinking about now is because there's so many sabers on the board, discard the lowest ranked. The Automa can discard the lowest ranked nighttime character from your opponent's ship or gain 3. So they have an opportunity to do this to me a few times. So I think I want to hold off on playing the surgeon until after we've got those off the board. But I do want some nighttime characters. So because I want them to be able to off them, I guess. So we'll decide on the barkeep this time. I'm sure she's probably going to be low, but let's go ahead and take the pilfer and 16. And what this, there's Smokey shaking his head. Now what this is going to do is, let's see, we have, for this first one, we have 1 good and 2 average, which means we are going to do second from the bottom because, no bads at all. So these ones, there's not 3 of a kind, or 3 goods, 3 average, and none of these. So we go right here, we're going to third. So in this case, 1, 2, 3. The 10 is being played. So now we start the daytime phase. Nothing, nothing, and nothing. So now we're coming back. The pilfer is going to take the map, which goes into the bag. Now the explorer, it says, when choosing a loot token, Automa uses this priority list. So they're going to do maps, and then treasure chests, and then hooks, and then sabers. So they're going to take this for their ship. And the saber Discard the lowest rank. I don't have any here at all on my ship currently, so they gain 3. Just what they need is more money, more doubloons. Yeah, we'll put it there, whatever. Yeah. And that leaves me with the barrel, which gives me a reputation, which I'm red. Like I said, I always play blue, so it was a little bit confusing. And now the pilferer goes into the graveyard. Their explorer is going to go onto their ship like that. We'll slide these over. I had it all pretty, and now it's not. And then my barkeep is going to go into my ship, and now we activate nighttime abilities. So for mine, I gain a doubloon. And for the Automa, next day when choosing a loot token, Automa uses the priority list above. So they're going to be going for maps and then chests. So they're going to want the hooks, which is what they have lined up there anyway. That's really not going to change anything, but that's okay. Day 2. Okay, so I am in need of doubloons. I'm going to go ahead and try playing the infantry. We'll see if that ends up working out. Let's go ahead and see what the pilferer has, a 20. So far, so good there. On this day, we have 1 good and 2 average, which means we are going to be playing second from the bottom again. So we're going to go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 28 gets played, which ended up being all right for us. Maybe, I guess, some of these. No ability, no ability. If this infantry is rightmost on the island, gain 5. Yes. Thank you. And now we're coming back. So I get to pick a loot token. So the hook, the Automa really would get 4. The saber is going to allow them to kill somebody on, kill my barkeep, but that was kind of to be expected anyway. So do I want to lose my barkeep and possibly 3 doubloons, because the barrels would be worth, if I was able to get 3 at most, but that's 4. So I'm taking the hook from the Automa. And now the Automa, they kind of have a different priority. So how this is resolved is, I may have encountered an edge case here, since we have 2 that are, kind of indicating they're in different orders. Let's see if it even matters. So if this one, it's saying it would take the saber. It doesn't have a chance. And actually, that one would say the saber first. I think how I would settle this in my own game, if they were, there's different tiles available and I had to choose one, I would go with the one with the higher value, because that's how we settle everything on the island anyway. In this case, it really doesn't matter. They're getting a saber. And that saber at dusk says discard the lowest ranked, so goodbye, barkeep. I would have liked your reoccurring income, but that is how it goes. And at least I didn't give them 3 coins. So pilferer is next. Theirs goes into the bag, and that and because there's no, oh, this one actually does have nighttime. I'll take mine back. So now I just have 1 person on my ship. We've processed all the nighttime abilities. This is just going to be the Automa's new priority. So we're going to leave this one on top, and if there's another nighttime one that we need to worry about, we'll go ahead and address it there. So now we are on to day 3. All right, because there's nothing that immediately threatens to take someone from my ship, I am going to go ahead and play the Surgeon. 31. Let's see what the Pilfer plays. 36, of course. And let's see. We have 1 good and 2 average again, which means, again, we're going to do the second from the top. And this one is a cannon and 1, so the very first cannon is this 26. So that is the makeup of our island right now. Let's start with daytime abilities. I'm the first one. Return a character from your graveyard to your hand without revealing it. Well, I'm going to reveal it because I'm playing nobody. So my plan changed a little bit because I think ultimately the most doubloons that'll be available and helpful to me would be if I play the Aristocrat, and that one would allow, because they've already had their Aristocrat, they're not going to be in the ship anymore. I can gain 5 doubloons, whereas my other one was going to give me hooks, for a hook, so I only have the possibility of 2 more. It'd be 3. This one has a possibility of 5, so I'm adding the Aristocrat into my hand. And let's see what happens. No, so that was processing that. Pilfer, nothing. So now we come back. The Pilfer is going to take the map tile because the Pilfer is still going to act on this priority list here. The Automa is going to be working on this one, which is fine. So now it's my turn to take one. Let's see. Now I'm thinking in terms of like, how do I hurt the Automa while helping myself? So the Automa, if I let him take the barrel, then they're going to gain 1 reputation, which would give them a doubloon, and they'll get 1 at the end. If I give them the amulet, they gain 3, which is worse. So I guess really the only thing to do is take this for myself, and that means the Automa now, and so the amulet, that's an end of ability. The Automa, when they gain the barrel, they are going to gain 1 reputation, so they get a doubloon. And then there's going to be more for them at the end of the voyage. So Pilfer, dead. Surgeon, back on my ship. And the cook. So this one, the cook, they were, just the order. But it said after Automa gains a loot token, she gains a second from the current day, except a relic. But there was not a second one to take since they were last. So that didn't matter. We are on to day 4. I'm going to gamble a little. It's actually a pretty big gamble because I'm going to play 26. The Automa has 3 cards that could hurt me to get ahead of it. I'm really wanting to take at least one of these. Hopefully the Pilfer. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. A little bit of a gamble. So Pilfer is going to play 19. That's not necessarily great. So let's see here. For day 4 of the voyage, we have 2 good and 1 average. So that means, again, we are going to do second from the bottom, which means to... oh, man. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, it's not going to help me at all because the Pilfer wouldn't have taken anything that's going to hurt me anyway. So going this way, no daytime abilities. Coming back this way, the Automa is going to take the hook, which is going to be worth 4 doubloons at the end. And then I am the cook. Unless you first gain a hook token, gain a second loot token from the current day. So I'm going to gain the amulet, which will be worth, 3 at the end of the voyage. But I also get to take a second loot token, which is the hook. And basically, you know, that'll allow me to either keep someone on my ship or force. So, I mean, it's more doubloons. Pilfer, there's nothing for it to take. Pilfer's dead. My cook, we'll just put it there. There's no reason to order those. And the treasurer has no, you know, ability there either, except nighttime. So we'll keep that. And we are on to day 5. And because I need doubloons, I'm going to go ahead and play the aristocrat. Also a high value card, but if I'm the only player to have the aristocrat in their ship, then I'm going to get 5 doubloons. So let's go ahead and figure out what is happening here for day 5. 18. Could go either way. This last day of the voyage, we have, let's see here, 1 good and 2 average. We're doing second from the bottom again. So they're going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're doing their 29 still. Not better than mine, which is fine. So let's see here. No daytime abilities for the Pilfer. The infantry, Automa gains, is that 3 doubloons? Automa gains an additional 3 if infantry is rightmost on the island. Oof, good thing I played the card I did. 3 doubloons for them. Mine gain 2 reputation. 1, and then I can't do another one, so that's 1 doubloon. And now we go back this way. No dusk ability, but I get to choose. So I know that the Automa wants hooks and that. So the hook is going to be worth 4 to it. The amulet 3, and the barrel a reputation and 1. So I'm going to take the one that is going to hurt most, I guess. Then the Automa is going to take this amulet, which doesn't have a ability there. And the Pilfer, I'm going to take the barrel into the bag. Pilfer dead. Infantry does not have a dusk ability. I don't know why I'm trying to make it look nice. And we are done with our second voyage. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, I'm just going to put the remaining Automa cards right here so I don't mess them up with this. I've got my stack right here just off camera, so that won't get wrapped up. Let's go ahead and process the end of the voyage stuff. Let's go ahead and do, let's do these cards first. So this does not have one. This does not have one. These do. This one says 1 of Automa's map tokens counts as 2. Well, they don't have one. This one says Automa gains 1 for each barrel, amulet, and chest. So you got 1 amulet, 1 barrel. So no chest. So 2 doubloons. Takes care of that. And then this one, Automa gains 2. Automa gains an additional 2 for each saber and hook in their ship. Oh my goodness. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think the Automa is going to have me again. So that's the cards. Let's go ahead and process these. They get 3 doubloons for that. The hook, they get 4. The barrel, they get 1. The saber is got nothing there, so they are mocking me. I can feel it. All right, so let's go ahead and look at ours. So no nighttime, no nighttime, sorry, not nighttime, no end of voyage. So if you're the only player to have a risk cat on the ship, gain 5. Well, I am. So, woo. So now let's handle these tokens. So I'm going to get 1 for the barrel. And for the hooks, I can keep a character in my ship. Let's see. This one is going to be worth another 5. And so I can play it next time. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of these hooks to keep the aristocrat on my ship. Or actually, they're going to stay on the ship. They don't go back into my hand. And no end of voyage. No end of voyage, no end of voyage. Those are dead. I guess I would just set those aside in a weird place. So for these two, I'm going to go ahead and take the doubloons. So they're worth 4 each. So that's 8. And these are worth 3 each. So that's 6. So I don't know, not as good as the Automa, but let's go ahead and these ones are all done here, so they go into their graveyard, and these are their cards for the next time. So I will set those right there. And I will set up for the third and final voyage. As you can see, the scores as they stand right now are I have 67, the Automa set has 69. Insert you saying nice here if you want. I'm going to go ahead and I drew 6 new cards to the Automa. I got them right here for me. So let's go ahead and take a look. I guess I didn't do this and I did it in reverse order. So the Scout, discard the Scout, immediately choose another character from your hand and place it on the island according to rank, shifting other characters as needed. The Preacher, keep one of your loot tokens and discard the others. Gain 1 reputation for each discarded loot token. Move to the leftmost space on the reputation track. Gain 1 for each position lost this way. Gain 2 for each character in your ship with a rank lower than 21 with the Bosun. The Thief, take 1 loot token from an adjacent player's ship. If you do, lose 2 reputation. And the First Mate, lose 1 doubloon for each character in your ship, but at the end, you're going to gain 1. So we got a few cards. I'll go ahead and add them to my hand of possibilities here. The Automa is already in order, so let's go ahead and decide what I'm going to play first. We got quite a few map tiles on, well, at least 3. That's good points. I really need to maybe take some risks to pull ahead of the Automa, but maybe not too many. I'm going to play my First Mate because I'm going to lose 1 for each character on my ship. So I'll lose a doubloon right now, but, you know, at the end, it's worth 1 doubloon for each character on your ship. So as I'm going to have an opportunity to add more characters to my ship, I think that's going to benefit us. Let's go ahead and see what the Pilferer has in mind. A 14. And let's go ahead and look. So the tiles that we have out today on day 1 are 1 good and right here and 2 average, which means we will be taking this one right here, the second from the bottom, and that is, oh, almost played that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this time the Automa is playing Barkeep, which lower than that. So that's going to give me a choice of loot. So I'll go ahead and take, well, sorry, I'm going all out of order now. So no daytime ability, no daytime ability. In mine, I lose 1 for each character on my ship. So there's a doubloon lost. Now we're coming back. I'm going to go ahead and take this map token. If I can get 1 more, at least it'll be worth 7, but I really want to try and get all of them so that I can get that 12. We'll see if it works out that way. The Pilferer is going to take the barrel, and so is the Automa. And the barrel, they're going to gain 1 reputation. Move ahead of me. And there we go. Let's go ahead and there's no dusk abilities on any of, we did the barrel, the dusk ability. So go ahead and do that there. Well, I spread those out, didn't I? Pilfer goes into the graveyard, and the barkeep goes into the ship, which we will put right there. Now we activate the nighttime abilities. This barkeep is going to hurt me for 5 days, or 6 days in total, if I don't do anything about it. So, and with barrels, it's going to help. So they get a token, a doubloon, not a token, because that's the nighttime. I have no nighttime abilities, so that is it for day 1. All right, so this time my options are a little less clear. I don't have a whole lot of high value cards to choose from. I got a few, but I have a few plays that I'm thinking of. So I'm going to go ahead and play the bosun. What that's going to possibly do, or what it is going to do, is it's going to give me 2 for each character in your ship with a rank lower than 21. I have none, so it does nothing, but I really want that map token, so I'm gonna try to go a little higher. So the Pilfer at 24. Of course. So now looking at day 2 of our voyage, we have 2 good and 1 bad. That's 2 good and 1 bad, which means we're drawing from the middle, or doing the middle action here, which means we're doing the first battle one. Okay. So we're doing daytime abilities now. Discard the scout, take Autumna's highest ranked character from her hand and place it on the island according to its rank, shifting. So this one is going to the graveyard. Their highest is the first mate, which is going to slide these like this, which I didn't have to do, but whatever. Boo! I do not like this. So going this way, gain 2, I got nothing. This one, they get nothing. This one's no daytime, so now we're coming back. This one right here, they're going to take the hook. Let's see if there's any dusk abilities for the hook. There are not, but that is going to be worth 4 victory, or 4 doubloons at the end. And the Pilfer is going to take this and throw it away. Darn. And I am going to take the relic to lose 3 doubloons. So that has certainly, it actually messed with my plan, because I have a thief, which would allow me to take one of the tokens over here, which means I was thinking, well, even if I don't win this one, I could go ahead and steal it and take the reputation hit. But, the best laid plans, So, no dusk. Let's go ahead and move this one to the ship. There is no nighttime ability, so I'm going to keep it just like this. And then the Pilfer dead, and my bosun goes to my ship, and they have a nighttime ability which gives them a doubloon. I'll tell you what, I'm already feeling bad about my about my chances, but let's move on to day 3. All right, let's see if this one bites me in the butt. I'm gonna try and the Watchman lets me switch a loot token from the current day with one from the next day if possible. So there is that. The Pilfer is going to play a 13. That might be low. And so looking over day 3, we have 1 good, 1 average, and 1 bad, which means we are doing the middle again. So this one right here, we're going 2 to the right, so 23. They got the thief out here, so let's see what happens. Oh, they're going to take something from me, aren't they? So the Pilfer, nothing. The thief. Autumna loses 1 reputation. Autumna takes 1 of the loot tokens shown on this card from your ship. The priority is... Oh, this jerk. If you have none of these, gain the Automa gains 2. Well, I did, so wow, that kind of hurts. So switch the loot tokens from the current day with one from the next day if possible. So let's see if this changes my plan. It does. It does change my plan. I think I'm going to do this so that there's no chance that it can hurt me twice. And so in this case, it goes map, saber, and then barrel. So my first choice here is the map. Let's see here. The saber would allow them to discard my lowest that, although I could also do that to them to stop that one from hurting me, which would, that's going to be a 6 versus a swing versus me possibly getting 7. So this one is still the better play, I think. And plus I'm keeping the Automa from gaining 7 coins. So now it's the Automa's turn, and they're going to take the saber, and the saber has this dusk ability to discard my lowest. I don't have one, so they get 3. So maybe that wasn't the best move, but whatever. This is just showing what the game looks like, and it's not like I play any better without it. Pilferer is going to take this and toss it, and the Watchman is going to come to my ship. The thief is going to come here, and the pilferer dies, and the Automa gets another coin, another doubloon, and we are on to day 4. All right, this time I guess I'm just playing aggressive because I have a feeling that there's not really a chance that I can get that chest. So I'm going to play my Brute, the Pilfer, 39 Captain. I'm going to do that because I have a feeling. So for day 4, we have 1 good and 2 bad, which means we're playing this row right here. We're going 1, 2, 3. They're playing this Preacher card, which is low, and so we go like this, and we are going to daytime abilities. Automa discards all of her relics, of which there are none, and gains 1 reputation for each. There are no relics though. So what happens then is at the end of this, it's going to become a rank 22 card. So now we process mine, discard the rightmost. That Pilfer is going away, and we are at the end of the daytime. So this actually shifts because 22 is higher than that. So coming back as predicted, I'm gonna not get that token. Automa's gonna take that, which means I get to take a relic. Yay. And the relics are, this, or end of Voyage, so are the chests. So we are done with that day. So the Preacher is going to be on the ship here. No, the Preacher is going to be on the ship here. I was like, that is not right. Let's keep that on top. Glad I caught it, because I would have been like in bad shape. All right, so this gets discarded, and my Brute joins the ship here. We'll put him right here, and we are on to day 5. Day 5, and going forward, there's no more things that hurt me points wise, but I have this -6, so I'm going to play my Preacher. My Preacher will let me keep 2, or keep one of my treasures and get rid of the rest. The Pilferer is going to play 25. And for day 5, we have 3 average tiles. So for 3 average, we are going to go ahead and do this the top option, because we have this 3-time average. So we're going to go 1, 2, and that's actually going to go here. And this right here, so now we're going into the daytime. It says Autumn moves to the leftmost space on the reputation track, and she gains 1 coin for each position, 1 doubloon for each lost this way. So going to the leftmost, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 doubloons. I just love the Autumn getting this money. Now it's mine. Keep 1 of your loot tokens and discard the others and gain 1 reputation for each discarded. So there's 2 that are going away, and I get 2 reputation. So that's 2 doubloons for me. Put those there. And nothing for Pilferer. Coming back, Pilferer is going to take this and chuck it. I have a choice of a saber, which I could end the barkeep's money, which would cost 1. The barrel is I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the saber, and what that's gonna give me here in the dusk phase is I'm gonna discard the lowest ranked nighttime character, which is this one, from my opponent's ship. And if there are none to discard, I get 3, but there were, so I did that. And so, yeah, very good. So the saber. Now the Automa is going to take the barrel, and the barrel, they're going to gain a reputation. And that is day 5. Pilfer dead. Preacher on my ship. Yeah, we'll just let's put it here. And the bandit is going to join their ship, and now there's no nighttime, so I can just do that. You know, just like Wingspan, I go, oh man, I wish I had 1 more turn. I'm looking at the cards in my hand. I'm going to play the Thief, because I really want that map token. Although right now it's a 0 for both of us. But it's worth, I think it's my best possibility. So we'll do that. We'll see what the Pilfer is going to do. I suspect, 9. I was definitely not suspecting that. I was suspecting it was going to be much better. So now in day 6, we have 3 average tokens again, which means we're going to do the top, which means we are going to do the 27 here. And let's see what we got. So nothing for Pilfer. My daytime ability to take 1 loot token, so I'm taking this map tile. And then nothing daytime wise here. Going back, we're in dusk. So this actually says Automa gains 1 loot token from among the available tokens from the current day and the next day. If there's a tie, it doesn't matter which of the tied loot tokens she takes. Sheesh, reading across the board. Which she takes, if she gains a token from the next day, move 1 token from the current day to the next day using it. Well, there isn't a next day, however, it does gain 1 loot token among available. So it says from the current day and the next day. So I'm going to say the dusk power is going to let them basically take these 2, because I think that makes the most sense. And until there's some kind of clarification otherwise, I'm just going to assume that basically they use their power and were also processing this, so they were able to take the 1 that they were owed for being the first in line, and their ability let them take 1 from the day in the next. You know what? I'm just going to let it go. I would have to look into that. I'm just going to let it go because the Pilfers, it's not like they're losing out on anything. I'm not like hurting another player. And I mean, it's a virtual player, but even if I was playing in real life, I would be like, that's the way I would interpret it, because it's not hurting anyone. I'm just going to let it go. It's fine. I'll learn something from it. On my turn, I am going to go ahead and take this barrel, which gives me a gives me 1 reputation, which gives me a doubloon. Yeah. And we have reached the end of the island here anyway, so the pilfer goes dead. We reach the end of our voyage. The thief goes on my ship there. And the watchman joins this ship here. So let's see, any nighttime abilities? No nighttime abilities. All right, so let's process this and see how badly I lost, shall we? So these are the cards that didn't get used. I'm just going to go ahead and set these aside. And let's see how badly I lost. Let's start with the cards, just because you can process tokens or cards in any order. Nothing to be done with this one. This one, Automa gains 6. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have played on very easy. Let's see if that would have made a difference at the end. So they got 6, no nighttime here, or no anchor, end of voyage. End of voyage, Automa gains 1 for each character in her ship. So let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why not give the Automa another 5? So that's those right there. Now let's process this treasure. So they get 5. Not liking this. So the sabers are worth nothing at the end. The amulet is worth 3. The hook is worth 4. Awful, awful, awful. And these are worth 2. Yep. Yeah. All right, let's see what I get to add to my pile of disappointment. So we're gonna gain 6 coins for this one. I'll just set that aside. So there's 5 and 6. And if you are the only player that's not a, if you're only a player to have the aristocrat, gain 5, and I am. So that's 5 for me. That's why I have brought her back. Nothing for this one. This one, I'm going to gain 1 for each character on the ship. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. Nice to be able to carry that one over. No anchor, no anchor, no anchor. So that's my cards. So these right here, I have 2, so that's worth 7. And technically, I don't have to take the coins for this. I could just be, we're doing the scoring at the end. I could just be spinning that on the dial. So that's those. The saber is worth nothing, and the barrel is worth 1. So let's do some tallying. I am back with scoring here. That means I won. I just barely squeaked it out at scallywag level. So certainly would have won Landlubber and definitely would have failed the normal pirate mode. I hope this was helpful in helping you decide whether or not Libertalia Winds of Galecrest is for you. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.